In 1963, a unique love story took place in the lovely state of Sikkim. Well, what makes this love story unique, you ask? The monarch of Sikkim swept an ordinary American girl named Hope Cooke off her feet in this unconventional story. Their story developed like a fairy tale, made even more appealing by the significant age gap, diverse origins, and cultural differences. However, what began as a dreamy narrative soon took a dark turn. How did this tale turn into a terrible nightmare? And 60 years later, where is Hope Cooke now? Is she still alive? Welcome back to Never-Ending Celebs. The world has been exposed to the captivating stories of American aspirations linked with royal fates in the glorious pages of history. Grace Kelly, the gorgeous leading lady of Hollywood, tied the knot with Prince Rainier in 1956. Love crossed all boundaries along the way, giving common lives the glitter of fabled kingdoms, leaving their stories as everlasting classics in the annals of romance and royalty. However, it sounds wonderful in books and women's magazines. The real-life versions of these stories often turn out far more complicated and difficult than the ones we read about in fairy tales. We open the first page and enter the world of American socialite Hope Cooke. Here, her life story is told not against the familiar backdrop of America, but amidst the breathtaking Himalayan landscape of Sikkim in 1963. Her crush on the king of this small state held a captivating charm, hinting at an epic tale in the making. However, when her fate collided, the once promising plot fell apart, revealing the unseen issues underneath. Time has passed, and not many people now recall this story. However, there was a period when the union of an ordinary American girl and an Asian king stirred the ink of many Western newspapers. Hope Cooke had walked into a palace tucked away amid the towering Himalayas. However, the reality came to light 10 years later when she had to travel back to her native country, exposing that this was anything but a fairy tale. The events unfold like the pages of a suspenseful novel. What happened during those years? And how did the common girl meet the king? Hope Cooke was born in San Francisco in 1940, and that is where our narrative starts. Her dad was a flight instructor, and her mom was an amateur pilot. But when Hope was only 2, something really sad happened. Her mother died in a plane crash. Her father left the family, and Hope became an orphan. Thankfully, her rich grandparents in New York gave her a new home. Nannies and governesses took on the role of caretakers, while little Hope and her half-sister were in their early years. But little Hope frequently found herself lost in a world of loneliness and sadness, yearning for something more. Because of this lonely feeling, she started on a journey to find something more meaningful, getting interested in the spirituality and mysterious aspects of India. Following the deaths of her grandparents, Hope Cooke moved in with her aunt and uncle. Her uncle held the position of ambassador to Iran. One summer in her late teens, she travels to India, which changes the course of her life. As she stepped onto Indian soil, her joy burst out in words. "I've never been so happy. India, my heart explodes. The East is my home. I must stay near India somehow."
As Sikkim goes up like an elevator from sea level with its border with India to 28,800 feet.
She enrolled at Sarah Lawrence College and dedicated herself to her studies, but destiny had more in store. Little did she know, her life in India was about to take an unexpected turn. During her time in the charming Darjeeling Hills, guess who she met? None other than the recently widowed Crown Prince of Sikkim. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life, with a whole new level of twists and turns. When they first met, the girl was just 20, and the man, well, he was a seasoned 37. Quite the odd couple, right? Now the big question on everyone's minds is, what drew her to him? Was it the allure of money, the pull of power, or something more intriguing? Perhaps the man himself. On one side, there is the vibrant energy of youth, and on the other, there is a king who is much older than her. But here's the twist that will knock you off your feet. The king was also the father of 3 children. For some, this might have been a deal breaker, but for one in love, this was just a reason to love harder. But there was more than just love that led Hope to making the choices she did. Hope was drawn to this man and the aura of power and wisdom surrounding him because she was passionate about learning about Indian spirituality. Her dream, however, was more than that. It was a desire to find the real family she never had. Perhaps this need pushed her in the direction of marrying a widower with 3 children, much like stepping into uncharted waters with a leap of faith. In return, he was searching for a new mother figure for his children. Their bond strengthened as they shared memories of growing up in isolation during their childhoods. It was as if their pasts, marked by solitude, were creating a unique connection. In 1961, they decided to get married. The twist was that they had to wait 2 years for the wedding. Why? Well, the local astrologers, known for their wisdom in picking the best times, suggested waiting until they found the most auspicious day for the ceremony. So, their wedding plans took a little pause in the pursuit of the perfect moment to say, "I do." Today, Sikkim is part of northeastern India. However, in the good old days, it was an independent state under the rule of King Palden Thondup Namgyal. During that era, Sikkim stood as a shining example among Asian countries. It boasted a literacy rate and per capita income that were double those of neighboring nations like Nepal, Bhutan, and India. A unique culture emerged in this small Himalayan nation, enchanting the young American explorer. Perhaps the girl was drawn to this special place because of its lovely ambiance rather than her intense love for the monarch. Upon reaching Sikkim, Hope Cooke dove headfirst into its exotic charm. Her wedding ceremony, a 4-hour spectacle, showcased chanting Buddhist lamas and vibrant folk dances. The girl found her home in a small mountain paradise. It was surrounded by emerald green hills, pandas, snow lions, and 500 types of wild orchids, and the world's largest crop of cardamom. She seamlessly soaked in the local vibes, effortlessly blending into the community. Living in a cozy 5-room palace atop the Himalayan peaks, she spiced up her lifestyle by rocking traditional Sikkimese attire. To show her commitment to Sikkim, she risked everything. She truly went above and beyond by giving up her American citizenship just for this marriage. And get this, she not only took on the role of mother to the king's 3 children, but she also earned herself the grand title of queen. This lady was on a whole new level. When word of this event reached the Western press, they started calling her the Grace Kelly of the Far East. Queen Hope grabbed the spotlight and became a hot topic for American reporters. She was a frequent face in the glossy pages of Vogue and The New Yorker, flaunting her style in the traditional ankle-length Sikkimese coat. Reporters would flock to the Queen's palace, eager to learn the secrets behind her everlasting youth and beauty. This story seemed to have a happily ever after ending, with the king and queen riding out into the sunset after a lifetime filled with joy and happiness. Who doesn't enjoy a nice fairy tale, after all? But things took a different turn, not towards a lifetime of joy and happiness. From here on, her story became less of a pleasant one and more of an unpleasant one. The young queen faced bumps along the road, and you might wonder, was there a crack in their married life? Just to be clear, it's straight from her own book. This isn't gossip or paparazzi. In her autobiography, Time Change, Hope Cooke fearlessly spilled the beans about her marriage. She revealed that her husband had an affair both before and during their marriage with a married Belgian woman. She poured out her feelings, saying, "I told him I hated her, that I couldn't stand it, but then later said sorry for the outburst." Palden comforted her, saying, "Don't feel bad. In many ways, you showed your love for me and that you're a real woman." Why did she put up with it, you wonder? Well, in her own words, Hope reflects, "I was so young and shaky then. I was inept, but it took me a long time to be a responsible adult." The king of Sikkim wasn't just dealing with royal affairs. It also revealed that he was addicted to alcohol and had financial issues. He began stirring up a number of scandals that kept people talking about his wife, which added to the drama. Not even Hope's 2 biological children could save this sinking marriage. Imagine the emotional turmoil she experienced when her husband went to meet his mistress on the day before she gave birth. If that wasn't enough, he also threw her record player out the window during another one of their infamous scandals. She called it her lifeline to the West, as she put it in her book. Their lives felt like they were caught in a storm, with each chapter bringing a new twist and turn. After several years of marriage, Hope noticed that her husband was aging and that they had fewer and fewer shared interests. Living in Sikkim also became difficult due to several restrictions. She lost all hope of fixing the relationship, and one day the tension reached a breaking point. India's plan to acquire the territory put the king of Sikkim in a more unstable position. Hope Cooke realized that her marriage could not be saved and decided to take charge of her life. It was around this time that she had started an affair with a man she had known since her teenage years during one of her yearly trips to New York. In 1975, a significant coup in Sikkim led to the overthrow of the monarch, who was subsequently placed under house arrest. In turn, Sikkim became a state in India. Hope Cooke was able to leave the country and relocate to the United States with her 4 children. In 1980, she officially divorced the former king, and 2 years later, he died of cancer, marking the closure of this love story. Hope Cooke became a writer in New York. In 1983, she remarried Mike Wallace, a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian. However, the couple later divorced due to personal reasons. Hope Cooke, now 83, resides in Brooklyn, working as a writer, historian, and lecturer. Hope Cooke's narrative questions the myth that being a king's wife is a bed of roses and no thorns. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Never Ending Celebs, for more interesting and informative videos like this. And while you're at it, make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment to show us your support. We will see you very soon with another video.